Well, we are at the end of the Republic. Today, it was discovered that there were incredibly steep fines found inside of um, the spending bill. I think it's like the $3.5 trillion bill. Fines for COVID violations, which are up to $700,000. Uh, that is that's unsurvivable. Like, if you have 100 employees, let's say you have 200 employees, you don't have $1 million to just like throw at a violation. It Here it is. So the fines go up to $700,000 for serious infractions. Like, what's a serious infraction? Is that like, oh, it's been 3 weeks and your 100 employees haven't gotten a vaccine? I don't I don't understand how this is possible. I think it's like $12,000. Tucker Carlson said something interesting. He said it was like $12,000 for a chemical death violation. Like if somebody dies from a chemical OSHA incident at your workplace, you're fined $12,000. This is like 50 times that. This is unreal. It's not sustainable. It's it's surely going to promote some sort of secession if it's ever put up. Obviously, it's too extreme and it'll have to be taken out. But this is a priority of a political party in our country, and there are two political parties in our country that have major power. And if this is one of the powers or one of the parties, like, belief system, I don't know how. Uh, I don't know how you endure something like that. Like, COVID is great. I'm sorry, the vaccine is great. COVID is obviously evil and awful and terrible. Get vaccinated. Of course, even if I had a different opinion than that, I couldn't say so because YouTube has now passed restrictions on um, expressing opinions in the negative of the vaccine. So you can only express neutral or positive opinions about getting the vaccine. Like, it's unreal. Galileo was imprisoned. He was people went after him because he had different ideas than the mainstream. Now, an unbiased observer at the time wouldn't have been able to tell if he was right or wrong. Just like right now, there are plenty of opinions that unbiased observers are having a hard time defining what's right and wrong. But to censor people for $1 million, $700,000, that's akin to putting some sort of either um, mad or sane Galileo in prison, regardless of the truth of it. It's anti-science. Science is a process of elimination. So instead of eliminating falsehoods, you're censoring it. It's not. Half of the country is of the opposite opinion. And if the people in charge are slamming people with $700,000 worth of force, it's kind of insane. I don't know how we survive something like that. And in other news, the heroes of the pandemic, the healthcare workers, are no longer heroes. They're being fired um, because many of them are refusing to take the vaccine. Which, again, whatever their motivations are, uh, I am a mortal. I do not know the truth of all things. They may or may not be rational human beings. They may or may not know something I don't. But that's for me to exert my will over them and get them fired when, like, they were working overtime and did so much for us during our moment of crisis. To just fire them, like, these people are healthcare workers. Like, they're not unintelligent people. They know what they're talking about as far as like healthcare goes, because that's their profession. They're literally professionals in this field. I think giving them a little bit of a leeway is kind of important. Um, I don't understand how we can expect a society that is so unserious that it fires healthcare workers in a moment of extreme health crisis. That, how does that make sense? Okay, we're fining people $700,000 for expressing their freedom. If the vaccine works, why does it affect you if somebody else doesn't have it? It obviously works, so it obviously doesn't affect you if you have it. You know, get the vaccine, you're good. End of story. You know, if your neighbor doesn't have the vaccine, that sucks. But how does that affect you? Honestly, how? If the vaccine works, how does it affect you if somebody next to you doesn't have the vaccine? Because you have it, so it works. It protects you. And even if it doesn't protect you, you're not going to be seriously ill, you know, statistically speaking. Honestly, it's time we get our stuff together. Repent because the end times are here, man.